Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am way off my schedule today because I've been taking kids around to various places today. School starts back next week, and so my vacation begins next week because all summer, because I work from home, I have to cart kids around. And so for me, I don't realize how hard summers are until they get here and until they're over. I always remember. So it's been, you can be running around all over the place before you know it. Okay, real quick, I wanted to show this tweet just because I don't know anything about this charting stuff, but it caught my eye. I thought it might catch yours. Ripple from Mac Attack XRP. Ripple price analysis. XRP forms bull flag after getting rejected at 200 MA. Not going to go into all that. Just wanted to pass that along for what it's worth. Now, many of you will remember not too long ago, there was an article about how Stefan Thomas had lost a bunch of Bitcoin in the early days, and I was looking for clips to illustrate the absurdity of the SEC's position on Ethereum and how they won't talk about it. Now, there's obviously an elephant in the room, and I happened to come across this interesting clip. This is Vitalik Buterin doing a presentation on something, and he happens to show this slide.
Three backups of his wallet. Exhibit 2. Bitcoin developer Stefan Thomas had 3 backups of his wallet. An encrypted USB stick, a Dropbox account, and a VirtualBox virtual machine. However, he managed to erase 2 of them and forget the password to the third, forever losing access to 7,000 BTC, worth $125,000 at the time, and worth about $3 million now. Thomas's reaction: I'm pretty dedicated to creating better clients since then.
I'm sure Stefan Thomas is sick to his stomach to this day, but I'm also sure that Stefan Thomas is probably doing pretty well for himself. Now, I tweeted this out and I said to retweet it. This is great. You know how I've been putting all these videos together? Well, this person, Rohan Vora, put a great video together himself, and I loved it. And I went and found this quote: "A single lie discovered is enough to create doubt in every truth expressed." Gary Gensler, when he was talking the other day, he kept talking about truth and how and how you need to be able to trust the consumers need to be able to trust the markets and all. Well, and I said then, and I'll say again, you're not going to have trust in any of this crypto thing, not from my angle and not from a lot of people's angle, unless you clear this whole thing up, because this stinks of someone trying to pick winners and losers, and the stink is not going away until you do answer the question about it. And we will continue to put out videos of their own words. We're not calling anybody names or anything, but we're putting out videos in their own words to illustrate their own absurdity, and here is one.
You just described some crypto as securities. Which ones do you think of as securities?
It's pretty clear, and the Supreme Court has actually spoken about this many times. If somebody is raising money, selling a token.
Start the Ether pre-sale in a couple of weeks. So the Ether pre-sale will be an opportunity for anyone to purchase Ether. Ether is the internal currency inside of the Ethereum system, sort of like the XRP and Ripple.
And the buyer is anticipating profits.
What we're hoping is that sort of similar to what happened with Mastercoin. If that slice is something like 20%, and then the value of Ether goes up by 5, then we basically have the entire initial BTC that we got all over again.
Based on the efforts of that group.
There's about 100 people that are working on Ethereum right now.
Myself leading the protocol design.
And we also have branding teams, we have marketing teams.
That fits into something that's a security.
Partially in order to better flesh out.
Okay, I don't want to play that music because I don't want a copyright hit to come. Okay. Completely absurd, we can all agree. Well, I put this one together myself today, the Ethereum Free Pass, nothing to see here.
How we tested this core, 3-part test, but the how he tested, did you give somebody money in anticipation of profits on their efforts? Now, usually there's a handful of people at the center of these XYZ project or ABC project. I'm not going to use names. There's usually a handful of entrepreneurs and technologists that in effect the investor is hoping those people do well. So that means anticipation of profits on the efforts of others. I think it's kind of just like reasonably clear. I would say very clear.
We have about 15 to 100 people working like part-time or full-time.
Okay, well, that actually sounds like a considerably bigger organization than I had envisioned. What type of what are your total funding numbers? Well, you don't have to, this is like a ballpark figure. Like, do you guys?
Right, so we really don't know at this point. Like, I could see us getting anywhere from 1 million to 30 million. It's hard to say. It's
okay.
so,
no, well, like, even 1 million will go quite far if you're motivated enough.
Like, no, like even 500,000 is really enough for us to make the Ethereum system. It's enough and build the client up to completion. If we get more than 1 million, like a lot of the excess will go towards building applications that improve the value of the Ethereum ecosystem. So we're going to help actually build some of these extra apps, like the decentralized Dropbox app, this financial exchange app, which would be sort of like a decentralized Bitcoin.
And you can see that's the clip from the Naked Gun, of course. And then there was this one. Now remember when the XRP lawsuit, when the lawsuit started and Ripple began to defend themselves, obviously Ethereum came up, and I think there was this section where Ripple had said something about Bitcoin and Ethereum can be controlled by China. That apparently made him angry, and so he says, looks like Ripple XRP team is sinking to new levels of strangeness. They're claiming that their shitcoin should not be called a security for public policy reasons, namely because Bitcoin and Ethereum are Chinese controlled. So Ripple XRP is a shitcoin now to him, right? A lot of people remember that. So I decided I would show you this clip that I found.
Is it fair to call Ethereum an altcoin, or is that gross mischaracterization?
Well, Ethereum is a platform. I mean, there is a coin called Ether inside of it, and you can build your own coins on top of it. I'd say we are a lot more generalized.
Okay, so it's more like Ripple to XRP.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree at this point that the position that was taken by Jay Clayton, the position that's been taken by Gary Gensler, is completely absurd. It's all dishonest. It's not true. They know that, and they're not dumb. These aren't dumb people. Nobody's ever accused them of that. So you have to ask yourself the question, why are they continuing the absurdity? Why are they okay with looking like complete buffoons? Because everybody knows they look like a bunch of clowns. What is the one thing in this world that would put people in a position where they would say something that everybody on the planet knows is not the case? Anybody with a half an ounce of common sense can look at what they're saying, watch the Ethereum stuff, and know that there is a fox in the hen house. Anybody can see that. But what would make somebody act like that? And you could come up with your own reasons, but I want to play you a clip that I saw. This clip by BitBoy from yesterday. This might make
we will decouple. Now, I don't have the timeline, but I will tell you that I know it's going to happen because the plan is to make it happen. So there are people out there that have hundreds of billions of dollars.
You're just saying at some point in time there will be decoupling?
No, I mean probably in the next year.
In the next year.
Mm-hmm. Now, Ethereum will still get hit in a bear market, but we are going to see a place where Ethereum completely decouples from Bitcoin. Look, all it takes is if Ethereum can pass Bitcoin's market cap at any point, it will decouple. Because the reason why Ethereum rises and falls with Bitcoin is because there's this idea that they're attached at the hip. But if Ethereum passes it, then, there's there's proof that it's not. It can move on its own. It can move independently. So I do think we'll see that. And the only reason why I'm very positive we'll see it is because I've been told it's going to happen. We are.
So he said the plan, and there are people with hundreds of billions of dollars who are going to make it happen. Well, people with hundreds of billions of dollars, if they have a plan and they're going, quote, going to make it happen, what do people like? What? I don't know. I'm asking. What do people like that do to make things happen? I don't know. You tell me. Creepy world we live in, folks. I can tell you that. Look at this. USDT, Tether, $1 billion is $1 billion worth of Tether has transferred from an unknown wallet to Binance. And as we all know, a lot of times when Tether moves, that means the Bitcoin price spikes because they use it to buy Bitcoin. All right, XRP Bart sent me this from Ripple. You asked, we listened. We've introduced federated sidechains to the XRP ledger so that you can enjoy the power of the XRP ledger on a sidechain that acts as its own blockchain. Learn about new use cases like native DeFi capabilities and smart contracts. As usual, Ripple is hard at work doing things, building things. All right, now JP Tirrett from Uphold was on he did an interview with Joe Indoso from Linqto yesterday. There are two clips that are very important, not just about Uphold or about Linqto, but about digital assets in general and where everything's going. Here's the first clip. He talks about XRP.
In sync with the annual summer lull, right? In other words, I think every summer people get freaked out that, oh geez, is crypto, is Bitcoin, is XRP, here to stay? What's going on? And unlike past summers, I'd say that level of anxiety is diminished to zero for me. The drivers this time around.
Does that mean that JP Tirrett has #0doubt?
Are institutional and permanent and laid out against a economic backdrop, that looks like, it's impossible to make money holding debt, as an example. So money's going to have to chase yield one way or another. And so I think, crypto equities in general is going to remain benefited for some time.
Okay, so that's good news. Now, this is interesting too, and it's really interesting because Joe Indoso asks JP Tirrett about this securities company. It's a company with a securities license, and I think, I forget how it's phrased, but I think that it was bought by Uphold. And my understanding is thus giving them a securities license. Why is that important? Because one thing that we know Gary Gensler's going to do, or really probably anybody that was in Gary Gensler's shoes, is going to call most of these digital assets securities, or at least some of them. And so this is what I've thought for a long time. What we've all been waiting for is the Goldman and the boys and JP Morgan to get their custody in place. Once that happens, what they're going to do, if Gary Gensler has his way, is they're not going to be just picking winners and losers with digital assets. They're going to be picking winners and losers as in which crypto platforms are able to come through the door. And I believe that Uphold was smart enough to see that coming and bought a securities firm to head that off. Now that might make sense why they're comfortable selling XRP, because they're covered either way. And that's just me. That's me talking out loud. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure piecing it all together, that's how all this is going to go.
The announcement, JP, of your acquisition of the U.S. broker-dealer, J&K Securities. Can you speak a little bit to what the implications there are and how that's going to, help you develop Uphold's business?
Sure. So yes, that was an amazing 3-year process with FINRA and at times the SEC. We got, at the end of the day, a fairly rare, if not the only permission. I'm not sure if it's the only one, it might be, which is an omnibus fractional shares permission. So most broker-dealer permissions are what's called introducing broker, which hands over a lot of the books and records responsibilities to a clearing agent, and where everybody who's actually using it is ultimately a direct relationship with the clearing agent at the end of the day. An omnibus permission allows us to handle, in most respects, equities like we handle everything else today. So it allows for some wonderful functionality, like the ability to send equity. You could send your nephew $10 in Apple stock. Again, as far as we know, that functionality doesn't exist anywhere else.
Think about that for a minute. Being able to think. Let's say you owe one of your friends $20 and say, "Hey, will you take $20 in Facebook stock?" This is the world we're entering. Uphold's at the very forefront of this, and I want you to think about this as you watch this, because this whole ecosystem of companies, and we're not just talking about here digital assets. We're also talking about the fact that you can buy this private equity on Linqto's platform. And these companies are making all the right moves. I'll finish this.
You'd be able to spend your Apple stock over through your MasterCard. So that's the implication. We will ultimately be able to weave in ultimately as many as 3,500 equity symbols and their corresponding options into the very nature of way that we handle fiats or commodities or cryptos today. The U.S. is a competitive marketplace, so we are not planning on launching our beta product, which is only 50 names, into the U.S. We don't think that would be successful. So we'll launch it when it's fully baked, probably Q2 of next year. It'll be 3,500 names.
3,500 stocks that you can send to your friends if you owed them money. Hey, I'm going to send you $20 of Google stock since I owe you $20. How cool is the world we're entering? And how cool is Linqto's platform? Today, they added Linqto shares at $1.84. I can remember when these, I want to say they were at 20 cents. They sold out today. They added Ripple, I think, earlier this week. Sold out within minutes. I think the same for Uphold. I've been buying Uphold. I own some Ripple. I own Linqto. Let me see what else. I own some Kraken. I've been focusing on the blockchain, but some of these others are awesome too. I think Zipline's like a drone delivery, one of the first commercial drone delivery. I think it's that company. Don't quote me on that. But you can click on all these and see what they do, and they got all kinds of news and information. But this is the links to the apps and the website are in the description of all my videos, and you can go on, open an account, and then you can find out if you're accredited, upload docs, and go back and forth with Linqto and find out. Their website's linqto.com. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family, go check out Linqto and keep your eye open for Uphold. Uphold's one of my favorite things that I've been buying because I see everything that they're doing, and earlier in that same clip, and I should have pulled it out. He was talking about what they're doing with MasterCard, and that's fascinating too. I need to find that clip and throw that up too.